Hey everybody, this is Geneva, and I wanted to share some projects I've done with you, some more successful than others, and maybe share a little bit of what I've learned. Oh yeah, I have things that don't come out exactly as I want them. You saw the binder I made for my stamps. I was really thrilled with that. Here is one I made for my cutting dies, and overall I like it. I tried a new binding technique that is done by My Creative Spirit, and she does some beautiful scrapbooks, and I love them. She's just, right, my perfect style. But I'm not sure I'm fond of this binding method, and there's two reasons. I had to completely build out my book so I would know how thick my spine needed to be. But unless you're creating a finished book, there really isn't any room for to add pictures or anything else in there. So when you're done, you're done. So I don't think I like it. And it floats in here, so it's not adhered to the rigid backing. But other than that, I think this one came out okay. It is holding my cutting dies. This is 2 drawers full of cutting dies that I have consolidated into this book. And my memory box dies, they're really thin, so I made pouches, and they just slide in and out of there. This is a smaller die. I just tucked it in the envelope. Use my embossing folders to make these pretty. But you see how this seems, I just love it. I'm one of these people that if I don't see it, I forget I have it. So I've got to have this stuff out on my shelves. Well, all in all, it worked great, but I don't think I'm a fan of this binding method. Now on the next one, I used the hidden hinge method, which I love, really a fan of. I was watching some bookbinding, just regular bookbinding videos, and I noticed how the man used glue, watered down 10% with water to make it a little thinner, and rolled it on with a small paint roller like you would use for trim or a really tiny project. Well, I thought that was really a great idea, especially for big areas. Now it worked great on my chipboard, because if it's this thin, there's a lot of water in there, so it'll warp your pages, which it did. On these are cardstock pages that I just folded in half and glued on the tabs, and then I adhered the paper. And this paper buckled and curled and whatnot, so by the time I was done, I ended up adding not only my pockets to hold the folder in, but a reinforcing piece at the edge to keep the page straight. If I knew exactly what my design was going to be, if I knew it had exactly what I was going to do with each paper, I could have just laid them out flat before I put them on the spine, glued them, and then just left them flat under a big book or something to let them finish drying, and they would have come out flat. And it would have been a lot less stress for me. But this came out pretty anyway. every mistake is a creative opportunity, and I took it, and it came out okay in the end. But I did learn something. If I'm going to use really wet glue, I need to, especially over a big area on any kind of paper product, I need to let it dry flat before I move on. But aren't these cool? I took the embossing folder and embossed on the piece that I cut for the pocket. So I have the embossed side and the debossed side, so I know which each one looks like before I pull it out of the folder, what it's going to do.